Ashman down.
Thanks for having me, allow me to speak. Unlike everyone here who has a child or a grandchild in the district, I don't. I live in Northeast Ohio, but I don't have a child in the district, and so everyone here can speak with heart and passion about their own child. What I'd like to do is just take a step back and zoom out and talk about the importance of Auburn Career Center for our state, for our country, and why this issue that you all are debating tonight is a really important one. I visited Auburn Career Center. I've done tours here when I was state treasurer, and I've talked about what you're doing here all over the state and frankly all over the country. As you probably know, about 3/4 of Ohioans do not have college degrees, and most of America doesn't have college degrees. And my personal feeling is college degrees are overrated. We've got a lot of kids out there with degrees in political science and French literature and gender studies, $80,000 in debt, and they're serving coffee at Starbucks or working part-time at the mall, when they would have been much better off here, working and having a career with the outstanding education you provide. When I look at what you're doing, especially putting kids into the manufacturing sector, welding, cybersecurity, I would submit to you that the kids you're producing and putting out there in the workforce are making America strong and making Ohio strong against China, against Russia, against a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. And I think we're in a war for what's good for America. And you've got countries like China and others that are focused on the downfall of our country. So that's why it's so sad. The reason I came here tonight is I got phone calls from friends of mine who said at the Auburn Career Center, where they're training young men and women to work in some of the most important disciplines in our country, cybersecurity, manufacturing technology, advanced technology, and a lot of the other disciplines you're teaching here, that you put in place an equity program instead of a merit-based admissions program. I would submit to you that when a country like China or other countries look at us, they would be so glad that you're doing this, because what you're doing by having an admissions program like this weakens the fabric of America. I would submit to you that what you're doing with an admissions program like this based on quote-unquote equity also stomps on the grave of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King preached that he wanted people to be judged not on the color of their skin, but on the content of their character. And he preached about having a merit-based America. And when you put in place equity-based admissions programs, which are just a modern way of saying affirmative action, you're not only stomping on the legacy of Martin Luther King, but you're weakening the fabric of America. And you might be thinking, like, hey Josh, like, that sounds like pretty broad words and lofty words. We're just talking about Auburn Career Center here. But I guarantee you, if you do the wrong thing here, the Career Center a couple counties down is going to see it and they're going to put it in place. And then some other Career Center will put it in place, or maybe some other school, because they're going to think it's okay. Because they look like career centers around the state of Ohio look to Auburn Career Center as a leader in the state, and frankly, a leader in the country. What you guys are doing here is unique. The kids you're producing here are unique. You are seen as a leader, but instead of acting like a leader, you're acting like sheep. Because this whole thing with equity and affirmative action and all this, it's sort of like with the changing the name of the Cleveland Indians. They did a survey of Native Americans, and 90% of the Native Americans they asked said, we weren't offended at all, we don't care. But you had woke white liberals who thought they were playing into whatever society said they should be doing. They changed the name of the Cleveland Indians. You guys are doing the same thing. There might be a very loud and vocal minority in this country, woke white liberals, who are out there preaching about equity over merit, but the vast, vast, vast majority of Ohio and America wants a merit-based system. Whether it's admissions for the Career Center, admissions for college, jobs, what have you, like, that's what made America strong. Like, we're not a socialist country. We are a merit-based country. It's what separates our country from so many others. And the fact that you're putting in an equity admissions program instead of a merit-based one, it's basically pouring gas on a fire that's weakening our country. And you're also sending a horrible message to 14-year-old kids. You're telling 14-year-old kids, hey, it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how much sweat you put in. You know, if you struggled and struggled and struggled, and you got a tutor, and instead of playing video games at night and going out with your friends, you were studying and focusing because you really wanted to get into the Auburn Career Center, and then you get rejected because your ping pong ball didn't get picked. Think about what kind of message that sends to a young man or young woman. And I would just urge you and implore you to reconsider this program. You might think that there's a majority of people who want this, whether it's in the district or in the state or in the country, but I can guarantee you the vast, vast majority of the people in our state and our country, they want decisions based made on merit. And that's it. And whether it's someone who's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, Vegetarian, whatever it is, like, it's not about partisan politics. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about what's best for our kids and for our country. And what's best for our kids and what's best for our country is that hard work and sweat and discipline and stick-to-itness and grit. Those are characteristics that are rewarded in America. And when you put in an equity-based admissions program, you're sending kids the exact wrong message. So I would just echo what all the parents had to say tonight, and I appreciate you giving me a few minutes to say a couple words, and I would really encourage you to reconsider this and put in place a merit-based system that would reward excellence, sweat,